Okay, so in this tutorial we will show you how to create a 3D text in Blockly editor, and you can find it under advanced category text 3D create. This is the component that will let you create a 3D text in the Blockly environment, and for other editors like TypeScript editor and Read editor, find other videos on our YouTube channel. So yeah, let's try and just draw this model. You see how it works in Blockly. You have a component that generates something, and then you can choose to draw it. And this is what we do. So we click play, and voila, we've got a bitbybit.dev letters here shown up. You can change the font, you can change the variant of the font, size, height, rotation, and other things. So Robota is probably the most stable font. It doesn't have any self-intersections as far as I know. Others, might have on some characters that are either strange or the authors of the fonts didn't really pay too much attention for self-intersections that are critical for 3D modeling software. So you see here that I've changed the height of the font, and I can manipulate pretty much anything here, like font size. Let's make it larger. And yeah, so we see how that works. So another thing that we can do is we could create a asynchronous context. So this is why Blockly is a little bit more intimidating maybe for some people, is because it requires already to understand a concept of promises and types and many things that, for example, Read editor really allows users to forget about. So, but still, Blockly, on the other hand, is very powerful. It's a full-fledged programming environment where you can do many things. And let's try to now make a cutout. Let's do this by going and creating a variable called text. Create that variable. We'll set it to a value, but we will go to the time category and we will await on the promise from this text 3D component. This will assign the variable text to it. And now what we can do, we can go into the IO category, JSON, and we can parse the JSON with a query. Because this promise was already awaited, the result is sitting in this variable, and we can do a bit of playing with it. So let's pick that variable. Let's, first maybe what we can do is, instead of drawing, we can first show what the parsing of JSON does. So first, you can preview the thing that text represents. So let's do that. We can do this print text on screen, and let's see what text is in fact. So let's hit play, and you see the JSON that is representing this whole thing. And this is a property mix that we can use to our advantage. We see that the text has a bounding box defined by x1, y1, x2, y2. It has shapes for each letter in the list, in the array, and it has this compound property. So how parse JSON with query works is that you can query these JSON objects like a text with a simple querying language. So we can do this kind of thing and click play, and you see that now it outputs parametric model. And because the type property of the text was, if you remember, parametric model. So this is how it works, this querying. And basically what we're interested in to make a cutout is a compound property of this text object, which contains the open cascade shape definition. So we also need a list component to get the first item from this result, as it is an array. And let's remove that one, put this here, let's click play. So now you see that we've got a compound object, and now we are able to cut it out as we wish. So let's create a OST solid box. Let's make a width of 15. Let's also draw it just to see what we're doing. So we're getting that. We might need to go and change this parameter. So don't forget to hit play in the Blockly environment. Okay, so now the box needs to increase to something like 20. Length to 5. Probably we'll need to center it a little bit better. So let's do 7. Maybe even 8, because we changed the font size. Okay, so now it's in the center, and we can move it downwards a little, like 1. Let's see what we have. Okay, that looks pretty okay. But what I will also do is I'll reduce the origin to -2. Now we have this intersection that we can use to our advantage. And what we will do is we will choose a Boolean operation from Open Cascade category. So we'll do the difference of this. So not exactly like that. So first let's do this. Let's do this. And now we'll just be able to see the result of the difference between two shapes. Okay, so now that worked pretty nice. I think you get the point how this whole 3D text can be used to create all kinds of nice models. And you can change the fonts, of course. You can change the, maybe in this case, let's do bold italic. Let's hit run, and let's see what the result is. Keep in mind that, of course, what we are differentiating is the box that we've created, and then the list of shapes. That's why we didn't need to have that list anymore. So we can just do on text, get us the compound shape, and let's do the difference. And why we need this is because the text holds some additional information about the geometry that was produced. So you cannot really do anything with it directly. You have to parse that JSON a little to understand what's happening. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers, guys.